All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz, Friday, August 11th, 2023. I'm Gonzo, joined by Mike Hughes. How's it going, Mike?
I just woke up.
And also joined, after I ain't been around for a little while because he's been busy with work, Rob Scott. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, guys? I love this Midwest connection right here.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the Midwest.
The Afternoon Blitz, the Midwest edition.
I hate it so much.
I hate the weather right now.
It's the we stay inside 8 months out of the year connection. That's what it is.
Yep, that's true.
Rob Scott.
8 months out of the year. Well, football's back. That's always a good thing. I know Mike's excited, just like I am for tomorrow, because that's when our teams kick off the preseason. I think Bears are at 1 o'clock tomorrow, if I remember correctly. I just looked it up a few minutes ago. I think Colts are around the same time. But what'd you think of the games last night? Everybody's making a big deal about C.J. Stroud, the way he looked last night. He's already a bust, and it's like he threw the ball 4 times. Yeah. Calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I want to start it off because, you know, Rob and I talked about this with Justin Fields not too long ago. It's going to be a very long season for C.J. Stroud, and I think that was very apparent in his performance last night. They can't protect him. The offensive line didn't look great, and I understand it's just one game for C.J. Stroud, but that offensive line has a history to it, and I understand that they're not very good at protecting the quarterback. They never really have been. Even in the Deshaun Watson days, there's a reason why, you know, when we had these conversations about who was the best quarterback out of that class between Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, talent-wise, you know, when they were in their primes, and Patrick is still in his prime, but, you know, when you have these conversations about what that drop-off is, the reason why we never had those conversations about Deshaun was because of how poor of an organization Houston was at putting guys around him. So, you know, I'm praying for the kid, and I'm not going to come here and call him a bust because I was the first person that had Justin Fields' back in the day, which was literally just last season and the year before that. So I'm not going to sit here and judge him throughout his first year, especially being the first rookie to start a year since for the Houston Texans, you look at it being Derek Carr way back in the day. So it's going to be interesting. I feel bad for the kid because he's going to have to rock out this year, but I saw a couple wide receivers that I'm really excited to see join him. I believe Dallas Schultz is on that team now too as well. So that's another big red zone target you can have added to that. I think that you're going to take away the good. That's how you need to look at it. There's going to be bad and it's going to be ugly. But as long as he can finish the year healthy, I think that's all you can ask.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel about it. I mean, you can put a little bit of stock into the preseason, but you can't put everything into the preseason. And like you said, being the first preseason game like that, first rookie out there, the main thing is going to be the offensive line. That's going to be the biggest problem for them because he's going to be running for his life, like Justin Fields was as a rookie. I mean, hell, what Peyton Manning looked like as a rookie. You know what I mean? It ain't like Peyton Manning came in the NFL and just killed the NFL his rookie season. Colts went 3-13. He led the league in interceptions. And then the next year,
following year, did he win 13 games?
Yeah, they're 13-3, and we're in the playoffs.
Crazy.
But
I'm not saying Strouds going to do that, but
I
mean,
don't really think you can judge a quarterback though until like his second year.
Right.
Like to me, honestly, that's just a position you have to learn that because it's a different atmosphere coming from college and going to the NFL. Things are moving faster, but at the same time, you have to learn how to keep the pace, how to slow everybody down, how to keep everybody on schedule with routes and everything like that. So, you know, I see my boy Jay Ness. What's up, Jay? What do you say? It's football time, baby. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is. And, you know, like Mike Hughes was saying, man, let's pump the brakes. The man had one preseason game. A preseason game. He ain't even playing the top dogs that's gonna be out there that's trying to tear his hair off. You know what I mean? So like get a man a chance to learn the game, to learn this game, because you in the pros now.
lot faster game than the college game.
Yes,
especially when you come from Iowa, and I mean this respectfully. Love Iowa. Iowa plays a lot of bullshit teams. We're looking at, you know, Ohio. Same. Oh, it's the same Midwest bullshit. But when you come from Ohio, my point in that was you play teams like Iowa, you play teams like Wisconsin, you play teams like Northwestern a lot. Yeah. And it's not until the playoffs to where you really start to see competition. And with CJ Stroud specifically, I saw him struggle against teams, you know, and these aren't the teams he played specifically, but the juggernauts, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Georgias, the Tennessees, all these teams. I had to throw in Tennessee. But you know, you look at that and you start to see, you know, that was really his coming down to earth moment. And he was still an elite quarterback in the playoffs. And he was still a great big part to what made that team so successful. So it's kind of a reality check when you go from in every single week on every single Saturday, you're playing against Northwestern, Iowa, Wisconsin, like I mentioned. And now you're going to some of the greatest pass rushers, some of the greatest defensive linebackers in all of football and all of the world. So, you know, it's definitely going to be an adjustment, especially when, to Rob's point, you know, we talk about the Patrick Mahomes of the world. You know, you look at that and you say you were gifted Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt, all these other guys that have come through.
Not that line. He got to sit behind Alex Smith. Right. He didn't start off. You know, he didn't start off the season starting. So you got to watch a professional and you got to see firsthand the weapons this team has. And you're like, I get to take control of the reins of that.
Right. And for CJ, it's kind of like, what are the weapons I have? None of them are solidified other than Schultz. And then you look at that and you say, look at how this organization handled Deshaun Watson. And I think those are the conversations that you have to start having with yourself and being like, you know, there's a reason Deshaun wanted out. And that way before everything that happened with him. So I'm really curious to see how that all pans out and if they are actually able to utilize CJ Stroud to the best of his ability by bringing in talent around him. You can have the JJ Watts of the world. You can have, you know, all these other guys, the DeAndre Hopkins, but you need a front 11 that's going to be able to defend this kid. You need a front 11 on the defense that's going to be able to make sure that the points he's putting up matter and you're not putting up 35 points just to get blown out 35-42. And I think those are the conversations they're going to start having as a unit. I like what they're doing. They have, I always forget his name. They have a wide receiver going into year 2 now. He missed the majority of last year with cancer, but he's going to be coming back. I saw a couple good plays from their wide receiver rookie core last night. Schultz is a good addition. Offensive line is going to continue to get better, you would imagine. So I think they're in the right direction. Rob Scott, I have something for you, a Mike Hughes fact of a Friday. I'm going to call it Friday Facts with Mike. That's what we're going to do. Do you know the 2 DBs in last night's game against the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks?
No.
Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant. And when I heard that, I lost my shit. I was like, I'm rooting for the Seahawks this year. That's cool. That's cool as shit. I mean, that's so dope. I was like, oh my God. Michael Jackson Sr. and I believe senior or junior. It's one of them.
Oh, and it's Kobe Bryant spelled with a C.
And Kobe with a C. Kobe But I loved it, dude. I was like, oh, dude.
Eddie wears number 8.
And he does wear number 8. He had an amazing hit last night. It was called. It was pretty dirty. It was pretty dirty, but it was nice to see. I saw they moved him to safety. I don't know if that's going to be an all-year
Cody
thing.
Bryant.
But Kobe's an absolute dog,
This
man.
is
I mean,
Cody.
he's doing it. He's doing it. And I'm really excited to see, especially, Gonzo knows I'm always watching the safeties of the world, and to see him being physical. They even talked about it in the announcements. It's like, you understand that's going to be a penalty, and that is going to be 15 yards, and you understand that, but it scares the shit out of the offense, and it makes guys not want to make plays. It makes guys afraid to catch the ball. It makes guys kind of close up instead of getting that wide open explosive gap, right after the catch. So
it gives you a little recollection of old school football.
Yeah, it
Remember
does.
back in the day, wasn't no running across no middle, catching no slant.
No,
Wasn't no such thing as no defenseless receiver. No, you about to get your head toe off.
Yeah,
I saw Ray Lewis make love plays like that.
Palomanu, Lewis, Urlacher. I mean, man, some killers, man, some killers. And way back when, you look at guys like Mike Singletary, Otis Wilson, I mean, Richard Dent. I mean, we could do this all day. It's just guys who are going to make you pay for just being on the field. And that's something that I feel like we haven't seen in a long time. So to see that, especially from an organization that used to have the Legion of Boom, I'm really excited about it. Baby Legion of Boom, and Tony just mentioned that. So, it's definitely coming together. And this was a defense that I think a lot of people, you looked at it and you were like, yeah, it's the dark ages. Welcome to the dark ages. You know what I mean? And, you're definitely going to go through that, but they're progressing very well, and they are getting a lot better. Now, Legion of Boom 2.0 is yet to remain to be seen, but I think they're on the path of making a really solid young core on this defense.
Yeah, they did lose a receiver due to concussion. Seattle did. Johnson, he got carted off the field, but they're saying that they think it's just a concussion, nothing more serious. Which, I mean, a concussion can be real serious, but at least it's not other problems. Like
that's what I always say, bro. I'm like,
that he's there for game one.
Right, we're talking about, and I talked to Rob about this because I've had
it's just a concussion. Your brain just bounced around your head. It's just
don't worry about it, bro. It's just what do we call it? A traumatic brain injury. The word traumatic is said very lightly because we just pretend like it's not a big deal, but you can see how it impacts somebody. So we're definitely rooting for him. But Gonzo, I want to throw this one to you, because I'm hype about it. I'm hype about it. I was watching as much of the first quarter as possible and then immediately turned it off because I didn't care. But, you see Jordan Addison, you're obviously hearing about Justin Jefferson, but I'm looking at Seattle, man, and looking at that big trio they have at the wide receiver core. And you look at Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
What are we seeing? What are we expecting from Geno Smith this year? Are the Seahawks like, is this you must to make the playoffs? Because remember last year, Rob and I said it a lot, kind of just happy to be there. You're kind of happy to just be winning these games. You weren't really expecting that. You trade Russell Wilson, you're expecting a rebuild, but Geno ends up being a Pro Bowler. You extend him. You bring in Jackson Smith and Jigba for this three-headed monster of wide receivers. What are you expecting, and what do you think the anticipation is in this year to be honest, you would have thought they would have had a rookie quarterback going into this year, but they're rocking out with Geno.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it depends on two things. One, their offensive line. I think their offensive line is going to play a little bit better than they did last year if they're going to be a playoff team. And I think they have the ability to be a playoff team. But the other big thing that I think it's going to be is how is of course, I'm going to forget his name now, the quarterback.
Geno Smith.
Geno slipped my mind. How's Geno going to play with expectations?
Right.
Like you said, last year there was no expectations. Now, after he had that good year, got the contract, there's expectations this year. There's expectations for them to make the playoffs because they added a receiver. They've added pieces. They look on paper, they look like they're going to be a playoff contender. Right. I think the big thing is going to be how does Geno react to the expectations? If he can play like he did last year at that level or better, I do think they'll be a playoff team because the NFC is not the toughest conference by far. It's not like that. Division's real tough. Yeah, you got the 49ers, but Arizona's probably not going to be very good this year. Their quarterback's going to miss.
Hey, Gonzo, chill out. We got the boss in the comments right now. Don't. He's gonna cut the live. Jay's watching.
I mean, sometimes you got to call a duck, a spade a spade. And unfortunately, Arizona Cardinals are basura.
No, for sure, for sure. And I have a lot of questions right now about the Los Angeles Rams because you have an injury and a hamstring injury with Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford, Rob and I were the first guys. I always say Rob and I, but we've been talking about this forever. I was one of the biggest Matthew Stafford supporters when he went to the Rams. I was the first one to say they're going to the Super Bowl. And I wasn't kidding because I knew if he could stay healthy, they will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, his problem was he was with the Lions forever.
It wasn't even
that was his biggest
on
problem.
Top of it, though. It's every time the Lions would get an opportunity, every time the Lions would get close, Stafford can't stay healthy. And you get 1 year of Super Bowl and the next year of this is what Stafford has been the majority of his career, which just isn't healthy. He's an amazing quarterback, just can't stay on the field when it matters the most. But you mentioned the 49ers. Before we get into the rest of football and preseason, I saw a report that came out saying that Phillip Rivers, if the 49ers would have beat the Eagles, they were going to sign Phillip Rivers. How do you feel about Phillip Rivers going into the Super Bowl, not playing at all year long, and then just if by some means they would have faced off against the Kansas City Chiefs, how do you think Phillip Rivers would have did in his first Super Bowl appearance?
I mean, muscle memory kicks in. It's not like Phillip Rivers was a bad quarterback.
No.
But I'm not banking my money on the guy that was just sitting on his couch, not having any reps, not, knowing nothing about this team, knowing what the receivers like, where their spots are, having to be a mobile quarterback, because I'm not going to sit up here and act like San Fran had like the best offensive line. I mean, that's the reason that quarterbacks went down. They all got hit. So, I'm not going to sit up here and act like Phillip Rivers is just going to come in there and save the day. And going against the Kansas City Chiefs, man, that's like, not comparing Mahomes to Jordan yet, but you going in there and you're going to get a little nervous. You're like, this is Patrick Mahomes. This is Travis Kelce. That's Andy Reid over there on that sideline putting everything together. You're gonna feel the pressure. Not to mention the Chiefs fan travels. Their fans travel. I mean, the Super Bowl was sounding like a home field game for Kansas City. So I'm just saying, I'm not putting my money on no Phillip Rivers. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzo, I'm sure you have more to add to it than I do, but really it was just one of those, like, you're going to throw him in with zero chemistry with this team literally a week before the Super Bowl. You have that one window gap of the Pro Bowl week to where, no one's playing football, but it wouldn't have been enough time for me, for one, Phillip to get back into groove, and two, to actually build a chemistry with these guys. I think there would have been moments, there's a couple moments. You have guys like Kittle and Debo and Ayuk and company, CMC, and you have a defense behind you, definitely. And I think that defense would have been a lot more competitive than what we saw from, the Philadelphia Eagles. But, at the same time, you have those conversations and you say, it's Patrick Mahomes versus Phillip Rivers, who hasn't played a single snap all year long. And when he did make his final season, was it with the Colts? I believe it was with the Colts. He didn't look great then either. So, I mean, it's definitely something to where it was the Chiefs' game to win. So, as cool as I think it is, it definitely wouldn't have happened.
I think he would have played decent. I don't know if he would have been able to beat the Chiefs just because, like you said, not having the reps. But when he was with Indy, he didn't play terrible. We made it to the playoffs. Should have beat the Bills in the playoffs that year. And he was going to have a better defense with the 49ers, better offense too because of the weapons you have. If, like Rob said, it came down to the offensive line if they could have protected him because wasn't very mobile at that stage in his career. So that would have been the big downfall, is he kind of a statue back there.
Right.
But not having the reps, not having that chemistry, I think that would have been the biggest flaw in it.
I think you would have saw a lot of Christian McCaffrey.
And don't the 49ers, don't they run like a West Coast style offense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that would have been the big
you need to be mobile you need to have a mobile quarterback to run that type of offense.
Right.
So now you're changing your play set to try to mold around Phillip Rivers. And which now you're gonna put a lot of pressure on CMC. You're gonna put a lot of pressure on Debo, on Ayuk, because Kittle, like, these are your playmakers. So now you're asking them, hey, Debo, I need you to play the backfield sometime. Christian McCaffrey, by the grace of God, we might need you to pull out your quarterback skills one more time.
And we saw him do it. We saw him do it. I mean, he wasn't great, but I mean, you saw a wildcat version of that offense, and it was with Christian McCaffrey. And that's my problem, Rob, is you look at that with Chris Jones and all these guys on that defense. Frank Clark, you have all these guys on this Kansas City defense. They weren't scrubs, and I think when you look at Christian McCaffrey and his availability and him getting banged up, the workload would have been huge for one game, and I think it would have kind of changed the way they were going about the entire year, because with Jimmy and Brock, you have those conversations that, they're going to be able to game manage, and they're going to be able to make sure that you're not getting the ball 30 times a game and you're not going to be exhausted. So when you start to see those things happen, the Elijah Mitchells of the world, you start to see those guys kind of get banged up very quickly. And I don't think it would have worked out well at all. And I do want to mention Jay Ness's comment saying that don't mention Stafford and amazing in the same sentence. Sir, I will stand on this. Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and if you think otherwise, you're smoking herb, bro, because we have these same conversations that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and Matthew Stafford's out here with over 52,000 yards and over 330 touchdowns in his career. The guy's an animal. He just was in Detroit.
Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer?
And we talk about Phillip Rivers always going to the Hall. We talk about Eli Manning. Eli Manning's going to the Hall.
Eli got two of them.
And Matt got one of them.
But I don't agree with Phillip Rivers.
Me neither.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I think he's just kind of there.
I'm sorry. And if he is, it's like a 7th time around, and you made the ballot again, and now we'll just put you in by default. But no, Matthew Stafford, yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. I agree.
Yeah, I think
Look at what
Stafford,
he did with Megatron.
Yeah, I think Stafford and Eli are both Hall of Famers. Rivers, you can make a case, but he's more of a fringe guy to me. And to me, if you have to think about it like that, you're probably not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I don't try to be hard on the guy. The guy has some good years, but when we talking about Hall of Fame, you can't critique it as if he was critiquing the NBA Hall of Fame. I get it. In the NBA, even though I love the NBA, everybody gets in almost. So it's you can have 2 or 3 good seasons, and those 2 or 3 great seasons will carry you far in the NBA. But in the NFL, you really got to do some stuff. You got to do some stuff to make the Hall of Fame. You can't just have 2 or 3 good seasons and be like, yeah, I'm a Hall of Famer. What in those 2 or 3 seasons? What did you do? Did we make it to the Super Bowl out of those 2 or 3 seasons? Did we win a ring? Did you become an MVP? And he checks none of those boxes.
Did Rivers even make? Did he ever make a AFC Championship game?
I don't think so.
Because
he took over the Chargers when Drew Brees went to New Orleans.
I mean, the Chargers had some good teams when he was there, but I don't think they ever made the AFC Championship game.
I don't believe so.
Because you always had Brady make an AFC Championship game, and you around that time too, and you had Manning there.
Going to be Brady or Manning. That was your top 2 dogs during that time, Brady and Manning. I'm surprised Nike didn't come out with no puppets with them. That would have been hilarious.
I got this one had me laughing.
Hey, I'm just saying. Look, Dylan, ain't nobody trying to. Hey, Stafford is a Hall of Famer. There's no way around that, because he I'm not wanting to give somebody excuses, but he has an excuse. He played for the Lions, and even playing for the Lions, what he was able to do with Megatron, they were really a 1-2 monster combination, quarterback receiver combination. And then for him to go to Los Angeles, to go to this Rams team who had gotten to the Super Bowl with golf, and wasn't able to seal the deal, for him to go there, and not only go there, he gave Cooper Kupp his best years. Like Cooper Kupp was a Triple Crown receiver. Like it's no denying that. It happened. That's it. Oh, am I taking Stafford over McNabb? That's tough. But I would. I think if you put Stafford with T.O.,
yeah, I would
if you
too.
put Stafford with T.O., T.O. probably go for 5,000-6,000 yards that year. I just want to be honest. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady good, but what I'm saying is he is a more than capable quarterback. That if I got Stafford sitting behind that offensive line, running the show, I'm in a good place. I'm not that nervous. He's damn so better than Jay Cutler. I wish we would have had Stafford when we went against the Colts that year in the Super Bowl.
You had Rex Grossman.
Yeah, fucking. Oh, excuse my language, man. See, look, let me stop because they about to give me started. I'm trying to be professional.
And I was scared to death about that game because it was going because of basically in the damn monsoon, all the rain and everything. I'm thinking, well, that's what the Bears needed. They need to because if this turns into a running game, they're going to have the advantage. And Colts end up being Dominic Rhodes and Adai was able to run the ball, and we were all right. But then the way the game started with Hester running that kickoff back for a damn touchdown. Oh, here we go.
You got one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. If anybody's gonna make it work in that monsoon, it's gonna be Peyton Manning. That dude was just, oh my God. I didn't like him for a long time after that Super Bowl. I really didn't. I didn't like the Colts, but I couldn't deny the greatness I was seeing. Like him and Marvin Harrison and what was his name? Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie.
Oh my God. They were, it was like pick your poison. You gonna double team Reggie? What'd you say?
Dallas Clark on.
Dallas Clark. Right. Can't forget about Dallas Clark. Like y'all had a squad, boy. Y'all had a squad. The Colts. That's why the Colts used to give the Patriots that little problem. Even though Tom Brady usually won their matchups, but the coach was a problem. The coach was a problem. Chris, man, how you feel, man? Football is back, man. Football is back.
Oh, I'm excited. And then Dylan Beek said loved Edgerrin James. Oh, Edgerrin James was my second favorite player of the Colts back then. I was a big Peyton Manning guy, but Edgerrin James, I loved Edgerrin James. I wish he'd have been there when we finally got the Super Bowl because he was a big part of that rise to get to that Super Bowl.
He was.
It was pretty cool though, because Irsay did get him a Super Bowl ring, even though he wasn't on the team no more.
Man, he was getting that. He was affiliated by family.
Yep. And Bob Sanders,
Dwight Freeney, yeah.
Bob Sanders though is a player that gets overlooked because he was a big reason that we made it to that Super Bowl because our defense was terrible. Hell, we gave up over 300 yards just a few weeks before the playoffs to MJD there in Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew ran for over 300 yards on us, and then Bob Sanders come back and then our run like nobody could run on us anymore. Sanders was awesome. His biggest problem is he played so hard trying to knock people out every time he hit somebody. He'd hurt himself.
That was Mike Brown for us. Like Mike Brown he was the safety that never was to me. Like Mike Brown was a dog, and he used to hit the hell out of people. I mean, I think one of those games he won for he got the interception. He ran back for the touchdown, and then I think Hester delivered the match. Wasn't that against the Cardinals? If I'm thinking about it correctly, that was the they are who we thought they were again. Like I remember, like
we let him off the hook.
Mike Brown was a dog, but he always was hurt. It was like, come on, bruh. But see, the Bears though, their defense was special that year, man.
And Tony said, "Don't forget Freeney and Mathis." Yeah, you can't forget.
Dwight Freeney was a dog. That was my guy.
Freeney. I still think if Freeney wasn't hurt, the Colts don't lose that Super Bowl to the Saints. I think that was a big reason why we lost that game. He couldn't, his ankle injury, couldn't hardly play in the second half, and then we had no pass rush hardly at all.
Yeah, you let Drew Brees short ass stand behind there and pick y'all apart.
No, yeah. The Bears had a hell of a defense with Urlacher and everybody they had, man.
Yeah, we had Urlacher, we had Briggs, we had Alex Brown, Tommy Harris, Peanut Till. I mean, dude, that defense was unstoppable. To me, like, if we would have had just a quarterback to lead the way, I think we could have beat the Colts. Because we held y'all, we was holding y'all down. It becomes demoralizing, like, we can't score.
My bad.
Now, we talk about the good old years, man. 06.
Hey, Robert, can I have a minute, sir?
Go ahead.
Just got off the phone with my guy, the 46 defense, Doug Plank, the All Sports, All Plays Network, Mike Hughes, After School Matters. We got a live show coming in with 85 Super Bowl champion Gary Fensick and Doug Plank, the Hitman. We're doing a live stream charity show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing it in September. We in there like swimwear, baby. You're hurt. But, Rob, please go back to what you were doing.
No, that was big. That was a big announcement. That was a big announcement. See, that man left and was handling business. That's what we do in Chicago. You know, we handle business now.
I had a full-blown conversation, all professional, hung up, came back. Oh, Ric Flair. Oh, man. What did Tony say? I saw Peanut in the comments.
No. We were talking about the good old days. We're talking about how great that Bears defense
Peanut.
was.
Come on, Peanut Tillman, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Alex Brown, Tim Jennings.
Tommy Harris was a monster at defensive tackle. Like the way he used to kill them centers and stuff. They got to put 2-3 dudes on Tommy Harris, man.
Matt Forte should be in the Hall of Fame. Matt Forte told me if I wanted him to come on my podcast, he had to pay me $500. So, no, he's not going to the Hall of Fame. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, though. And I say, hey, Matt, I told him, hey, Rob, you want to come on the podcast? He said, brother, I would love to support you in everything you do. I said, man, that's love. He said, yeah, 100%. A little silence. He said, that'll be $500. I said, what the fuck?
Hey, he tried to give you a discount.
Hey, Matt hurting that back. Hurting that back. Golly.
That's how they get their money, though.
I was 18, dog. Like, whoa.
He said, y'all got it.
A multimillionaire just asked a kid with -$3 in his bank account for $500. That's crazy, Joe.
Hey, let's switch it up a bit. Have y'all been paying attention to Team USA in basketball?
Yeah, I have, man. And they look good. Austin Reeves needs a haircut for sure. That kid needs a fade because he looks like he looks like my brother.
I don't care. His game though. He
looks good.
Austin Reeves is a bona fide dog, boy. He got 100%. That dog in him.
100%. And I'm
talking about DAGG.
Yeah, that's the conversation too, because I heard a lot about it. Whenever there's a white kid who performs very well, he takes a lot of shit. You know what I mean? More times than not. And I think what I was hearing from a lot of people is this the next Tyler Hero, to where he has a good stint and then, basura right after that. What I'm seeing from Austin, what we saw from, and two different people, but what we saw from Tyler after the bubble was he started getting Hollywood. He started messing with the IG models. He's on tour with Jack Harlow. He's doing all these covers.
Live it up, baby.
He's living it up, but you saw his game drop off. What we're seeing from Austin Reeves, he's still hooping. He's learning from other players. He's getting more experience, learning from guys like Anthony Edwards and company, Jalen Brunson. I'm loving what we're seeing from Austin Reeves. I think this is a guy to me that could be the truth at that position, for the Lakers for a while. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that. I was surprised he even stayed a Laker.
Do you think having a veteran like LeBron around that helps him staying focused and keep balling like he's doing and maybe not get distracted like Hero did?
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why, because I am a Jimmy rider 100%, but Jimmy holds guys accountable. Jimmy holds guys to the standard that they're going to be. And Jimmy also understands, you know, the offseason is your offseason at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And I think LeBron understands it as well. LeBron and Austin aren't spending every day together. Now, one guy I will give those flowers to is DeMar DeRozan. Rob and I have talked about it all the time. Patrick Williams is basura. But at the end of the day, he's every summer working with Debo, doing their thing in California, doing their thing in Compton, trying to become the best versions of themselves and elevating. I love Bron, but Bron's also like a handle your business kind of guy. You know what I mean? Now, on the court during the season, you're not going to see any shenanigans because Bron doesn't put up with that. You will be shipped off immediately and without question. Same day shipping. Like, you are there at your new destination. We've seen it time and time again. I mean, man, Rob remembers traded away D Wade and Derrick Rose like it was nothing back in 2018. I said, golly. I said, sheesh.
No, it ain't nothing personal.
No, not personal. No hesitation. Did not care.
But I will say this. I have to slightly disagree. I think having a LeBron James there, having, you know, veterans there,
right.
maybe they don't interact directly in what you do, but you get to see how to handle yourself as a professional, and you get to see what your end goal is, because everybody wants to end up being paid like a LeBron or an Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen if you don't put in the work. So I think, you know, with Austin Reeves, AR-15, you know, he has done enough to earn his nickname. And I'm going to tell you, you see AR there, blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Hey, he gonna let him ride. But no, all jokes aside, though, I think Austin Reeves is putting in the work. He sees guys that put in the work. I mean, when you get to have a conversation with a guy like LeBron, and you see the amount of not just time, but money and effort that he puts into his body to be able to perform, still at the age of almost 40, and still be considered one of the top 10 players in the league. You see that has no choice but to rub off on you if you love basketball and you love the work. You know what I mean? I think
I wanna throw
Kobe
this out.
was a product of that. Like, Kobe showed these guys when he was on Team USA, he showed these guys how to work, and then, you know, you see now LeBron winning rings. You see the impact it had on a Carmelo Anthony. You see the impact it had on all these other guys that were on Team USA. That, like, man, you know, this is what I have to do to become the best version of me, you know.
But how do you feel? I didn't mean to cut you off either.
No, you all good. You all good.
How do you feel about, you brought up Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah.
And that was my main point, is I believe LeBron is good for you the same way Jimmy is good for you, the same way, you know, I would imagine guys like Damian Lillard are great for you to watch, guys like that. Giannis, you know, they're great in the offseason. Debo, DeMar DeRozan, maybe he's not a superstar, but the guy works, and it's a work ethic that you can definitely learn from.
Yeah.
But you've seen it from Anthony Davis especially. I don't see Anthony Davis going the extra mile. You know what I mean? And that was my point in kind of saying, at the end of the day, it's up to you as a player. And I think you're starting to see from Austin is him. Austin means business. Austin wants to perform. Austin wants to get better. Where Tyler, it was more so, you know, during the season, you know, we're going to get there. We're going to go to training camp. We're going to go to preseason. We're going to go everywhere else. We're going to do what we have to do when we are obligated to do so. But that extra mile, that extra step, isn't as, not to say he's not putting in work in the offseason, but it isn't as aggressive as we've seen the Kobe Bryants, the LeBron Jameses of the world. So I think Austin just kind of has that mentality of, hey, I'm going to be the best version of me no matter what time of year it is. Where, you know, it doesn't really matter if LeBron's a part of that or not. AD is the future, you know, supposedly is the future of LA and supposed to be the next face. And I have yet to see him hit that next level, hit that next stride. Now, a great player when he's on the court, but I don't see. Remember, we talked about when LeBron and AD teamed up, we are going to see MVP Davis at some point because of the LeBron James effect. And we have yet to see that. So I think that's the conversation I was trying to get to. Is
Davis hasn't shown that he can be a leader like we thought he was going to turn into and with the Lakers.
Exactly. And it kind of turned into riding the coattails of LeBron, being that Robin to Batman. When Batman leaves, I don't know what's going to happen with Robin. You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to become Batman?
And he was supposed to be groomed to be Batman, like you were about to say. Like,
but that's my point, is like, as good of a leader as you have, that was why I said I don't think it's a huge difference. If you're willing to take the advice, if you're willing to take the criticism, if you're willing to do that extra work for Austin Reeves, it's an amazing thing. For Anthony Davis, it's kind of like, okay, bro, I'll see you in August.
Yeah, it depends on the player because not everybody has that hunger to want to improve and want to learn or humble enough to take advice from somebody else. Some people think they already know everything. Hey, I made it to the NBA doing it my way. Why should I listen to you now?
Right.
And I think if you're a young guy and you take that advice from a guy like LeBron or any experienced player, you have a chance to keep improving.
Right. And you look at guys like Jordan Poole. We talked about it. We killed Jordan Poole all year long. Why? Because after he won a championship, you saw a very different Jordan Poole. Now I saw a hustler when they won.
It wasn't even after he won a championship. It was after
he got knocked the fuck out.
But he got knocked out because of that work. Yeah. Just the attitude and everything that was going into it. Right. You, like acting like your shit doesn't stink.
Like he told Draymond, you ain't gonna get paid. I don't even know why you here. They gave your money to me.
Right, 100%, 100%. And the tables turned, man. The tables turned. But that's a conversation.
Hey, Draymond gave him the old 1-2 buckle my shoe.
Oh, man, that was ugly, bro. That was absolutely ugly. And it was a good, clean hit. You know, Jordan felt that one for a minute. I mean, it knocked him off.
Everybody keep trying to say he snuck him. I said, no, he walked up on Buddy. That ain't no sneak. First of all, you ain't gonna walk up on me so aggressively. Right. I need you to back up off me, you know.
Which was the cleaner hit, Draymond's or Ramirez's when he knocked Anderson the fuck out the other night?
I think Ramirez's was beautiful because Tim actually fought back. Jordan just kind of got knocked out.
Tim didn't see it coming though. Like them, the ones that knock you out. I know it's redundant, everybody, when people say this, but yes, it's always the one you didn't see coming. And Tim thought he had that fight under control, and he threw that overhand hook.
He went like that.
He caught that man clean on the butt.
That was the most generic fighting stance. He looked like Rock and Sock'em, bro. He was just doing it. He was out there just messing around. I was like, dude, man, you know you're from Chicago or you're playing in Chicago too long. When your arms go over your head, you're like, oh man, this is ghetto. This is not a real fight.
It's not about to happen. And
Jose did the duck and weave. He hit him with a right, boom, socked.
Hey, you know the hit is real when you go down slow.
Oh man.
He went down slow, but yet he went down hard.
Ramirez hit him with the side of his fist. I mean, he hit him with almost like a closed fist slap.
I like those pictures that are coming out too. It's a real picture. Jose actually does box. And he's wearing boxing gloves on the field, and it's the funniest picture to me. But man, I to that point though, like what we were talking about, and I think it's just so important when you look at guys like Jordan Poole, Anthony Davis, Tyler Hero. You know, the reality of the situation is this, and I think when you have guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, you know, we start to look at it from a totally different angle. And I think it's really important when you have those conversations with yourself saying, like, I have to learn from these guys. I want to learn from these guys. And I want to be the best version of me. And sometimes you just don't see that from guys. Like Rob talks about it all the time. You know, we want to work with guys at ESPN. It's not a competition. You want to learn as much as you possibly can. You know, you want to be a sponge to the industry. You want to be a sponge to the game, and you want to be the best version of you. And sometimes by getting help and observing others, you can learn that. I've learned a lot from Rob, and I've learned a lot from other people. We learned a lot from Cube in our weekend with Cube. And instead of taking it to I'm bigger than life, I don't need anybody, sometimes you just got to play the student role for a while and you become a teacher. And I think it's really going to be interesting to see how some of these guys play out. Obviously we're having the conversations about Hero potentially going to Portland if they do trade for Dame at some point. You have the conversations of Jordan Poole going to Washington. What's going to happen with Anthony Davis? You know, and I think when you look back at their careers, you're going to look at it and say, it should have been so much more than it was. And it really wasn't. And I think that's like the opportunity was there. You just didn't take it. Like, you know, you can get traded to LA. You can win a chip with Bron, but what do you want to get from this? That's more than just winning a championship, more than just some jewelry on your finger. Like, you need to take your game to the next level. Kind of like Jose Ramirez did the other night. Check out these boxing gloves. I mean, absolutely crazy. He's wearing them. That's a real picture. That's a real picture of Jose Ramirez wearing boxing gloves on the field.
And that's a real picture of him giving my man a clean. I was like, no, Timmy,
man,
wake him up, Lord Jesus, wake him up.
And if you look at I was just showing Gonzo, I think I sent it to him the other night. I didn't see the after video. I didn't see the after video to Jose actually stumbling off the field. Dude was knocked. Dude couldn't walk.
Oh yeah, they couldn't get him off the field. They're trying to help him off the field. He started to fall. He started to fall. Like, damn.
And then a report came out a couple of days later by 670 The Score and a couple other people, Shapiro and a bunch of guys, that wasn't the first fight Tim Anderson lost this year. You know, they said Yasmani Grandal, the catcher of the White Sox, who was actually ironically the guy helping him off the field, slapped him across the face in a hot tub right before the All-Star break. There was a report going around that Yasmani wasn't in their lineup that day. It was right before All-Star break. You know, you're tired. You know, you're 40 games back. You know, you're not making the playoffs. You're 40-60, something like that. You know, it's a horrible season. It's washed. And he wasn't in the lineup, so he said he wanted to leave early. He wanted to go home early. And Tim Anderson basically said, get the F out of here then. I'll pay for you to effing leave, blah, blah, blah. Yasmani walked right up to him. Boom! As he's sitting in a hot tub, just smacked him clean. So Tim's been taking a lot of L's lately, man. He's been knocked out just as many times as he's hit a home run in the last 365 days. And that's got to be a tough pill to swallow.
I can't even defend that because I don't even watch baseball. So Tim, you gotta get your stuff together.
Gotta get your shit together, man.
You gotta get it together.
You got some.
You know what though? To go.
And he really hasn't. He really hasn't had a good year for what, a couple seasons because of injuries.
He's got a lot going on in his. I understand he has a lot going on in his life as well too, though. Like he's got some, and I don't like talking about people's personal life, but I understand like him and his wife were public about a few things, and you know there's definitely a lot that goes into that as well, and I think it definitely does affect your game. You know, we've seen it happen to plenty of guys. You know, Ben Zobrist retired after everything with his marriage happened, and it's definitely just something where, you know, mental health is everything, and I think it definitely changes your approach to the game, and it changes the way you're going about it. And this is a version of Tim Anderson I've never really seen. You know, he always took that Jackie Robinson type role, saying he wanted to be the leader, saying he wanted to be that guy that changes the game. But I've seen him more aggressive towards umpires, towards teammates, towards players than I ever have. And I think at some point you have to kind of start questioning that and wondering, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, it's not the Tim you're typically used to seeing, especially on the South Side with Chicago. I mean, this was a guy who gave back to the community, a guy who supported other Black men and women, who supported, you know, people who are going to be put in these power type statuses to be able to help and to be able to benefit this city and this world. And I'm seeing a very different Tim Anderson. And I don't know what goes into that. I'm sure he's got so much going on in his life, but I think as a team, you kind of have to address that when that's the leader of your team. What's the chances that Bronny ends his basketball career? I'm genuinely curious as a father. Curious. I did say that. I'm pulling you out of basketball. I mean, I have a very short answer. I don't know if you guys have anything different. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, without like seeing the medical reports and knowing what the risks are, it's hard. Because it'd be like, I understand like what he's saying, that I'm pulling you as a father, I'm pulling you out of basketball. But to me, if I was in that situation with my son, it would depend on what the medical reports are. What are the chances of the doctor saying the chances of something happening again? What is my son's thoughts on it as well? So I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. Without knowing a lot of that information, it's really hard to have a straight answer on it.
Yeah, you don't know, like, is this something that is going to happen again? You know what I mean? Like,
because it could have been a freak accident, or it could be something that's preconditioned. You don't know. You know, all you know is you happy you got your son now. And I think what LeBron will do and what he's been showing that he's going to do is, before I let you step back on that court, we're going to visit every professional. We're going to visit the best of the best. And we're going to find out if it's worth you going back on that court.
Right.
Because no matter how much you love basketball, you know, we love you, and you should love yourself more than the game. And on top of that, bro, you're straight. You're straight. You know, I got you. You know, your mama got you. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Man, and I respect Bronny had his own.
We're trying to build your own name, right? Because he was
he's had his own NIL deal.
And more than just playing basketball. I mean, the guy is a prominent figure on Twitch. And with the way that they paying social media guys right now, I mean, these social media guys are getting money. That's why they collabing with all the porn stars.
Adam 22. But a weird guy. He's a weird cat. But
but to that Team USA thing, I know we were done with that. Let me say two things. First of all, I think both of you guys are right. I'm just happy that everybody like Austin Reeves or Tyler Hero, they don't have a chance to even get advice. You know what I mean? Like you look at that Houston team, these guys are just playing with other young guys. There's nobody on that team to really set them straight. I mean, I don't look at Eric Gordon as one of those veterans that I would listen to. But
Mr. 40 minutes and 0-0-0-0.
But these guys actually got a chance to get mentors. So I think they're both making the best out of the situation. I think Tyler Hero, he had a little bit of a drop off, but if you look at him last year before he got hurt, he was getting back to his old form, man. And we know what Austin Reeves can do. But to the second thing, let's not just talk about Team USA. Team Canada got a whip. They got SGA. They got RJ Barrett. They got a little whip over there, man. And I'm hearing in the streets, and people at work and just people I'm talking to that love the game of basketball, that Team Canada is the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, they're so different than even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was literally Andrew Wiggins, and that was all that was going on. But now, like, Canada's definitely making themselves known as like, hey, we're trying to compete. We have some young competitors that are evolving, and it's really cool to see them kind of take that next step forward. Kind of like the World Baseball Classic. We have those conversations all the time where it's really just USA, Japan, and obviously PR and companies like that. But you look at that and you say, now we're starting to see a lot more countries get involved and a lot more countries really put a lining in like the competition. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But Rob, I wanted to ask you, man, because it's definitely a real conversation. I think you start to have these conversations once every 4 years about the big name events, the Olympics, stuff like that. When you start to see the big names pop out. But are you kind of disappointed that you don't see as many athletes that are going to potentially be, in these Team USA trials, in these Team USA teams, and just I'm kind of disappointed by the roster a little bit. And I think more so than anything, it's the young guys that I'm disappointed in. Like Curry, LeBron, I understand. You know what I mean? Like, you need your rest. You need to do you're set in your ways of over a 15, 20-year career of what your off season looks like. So you're not going to change or dictate that based on that, especially Bron. Bron's not going to go play for Team USA after what he's already done, on top of not trying to risk injury in year 21. You know what I mean? So, but when you look at the Ja Morants, when you look at the Donovan Mitchells, when you look at young guys who are a part of this, which is why I'm happy Brunson and Reeves and Triple J are there. But I feel like we can get so many more players involved, and they don't want to be a part of it. Does that bother you at all? Because back in the day, it was an honor to be a part of that.
Well, this is just the FIBA games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually in the FIBA games, you don't really see the big dogs come out. You start to see that top B team tier start to come out. So like I didn't expect to see like a Tatum or Jaylen Brown or even a LeBron or a Curry or any of our top Americans play. Usually because I remember in the FIBA games correctly, that was when one of the years I remember in particular was when Steph Curry and Clay jumped on the scene, and they had Derrick Rose on that team as well. And I mean that team, oh my God, and this wasn't even the best of the best. This was our B team tier, and we were still better than everybody. So I'm interested to see, honestly, when the actual Olympics happen, who will want to play on that team. Because that's when you see the heavy hitters come out. And I think once again, I think after this FIBA year, and you realize, especially after the last Olympics, that we're not that far ahead anymore in basketball skill. I mean, you got Luka and his team. If Giannis decides to play for he's from Germany, he decides to play for them, I know he's from Africa, but I know he's by way of.
I don't think he's from Africa.
No, Greek, Greek freak. But I thought I said Germany, but I said no. But he's originally from Africa. He's like Nigerian or something.
Yeah, but no, I did see today to that point. Giannis won't be playing. I think he had a knee injury. Something.
No, I'm talking about for the Olympics, not the FIBA games.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did see today. I know. I don't think it was major. I just think it was like it was enough for him to be like, nah.
In the last Olympics, wasn't there some of the bigger guys that didn't play in that as well?
Yeah, you're right about that because we only had KD and was that the Olympics with KD and
it was
Tatum and
it was Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Bradley Beal, I think KD and a couple other guys, but you still look at that and you go, are these the top dogs? Like, is Devin Booker a top 3 player? You know what I mean? Like, that's Bradley Beal, a top 3 player. KD's been there for years.
I think if you look at today's league, now that you're starting to say it, like, these are the next generation of the big.
They
dogs.
Definitely are, but I'm looking for the dogs, man.
What dogs? You name what dog that was missing.
Let me get some Chef Curry in there. Let me get some Steph doing his thing. I want to see Steph knocking down threes against Germany. You know what I mean? Against New Zealand, against these teams. Like, Steph would be insane against these kind of talents. I want to see, guys like that. Tatum, I love seeing. Booker, I love seeing. But you want to see.
Yeah, come on, Kyrie. Guys. Come play, Kyrie.
I mean, Kyrie is such a big name as well. Jimmy Butler used to be a part of it. Him and Kyrie, Devin Booker. You look at guys like Zach LaVine, who was a part of it, and I'm like, Zach LaVine.
Luka, you can get your American visa, right? You know what I'm saying?
No, Luka goes hardcore. Luka goes hardcore for his team, man.
Yeah, he's not leaving that team.
Luka's playing right now.
Luka gonna give us 50. I'll see it.
But check that out, Rob. Like, that was the point I'm making, right? So
he's playing in the FIBA.
This is the FIBA tournament, and Luka's playing right now because it matters that much to him.
Well, I think it matters to those type of teams because they have to be high in the standings or they have to qualify.
But my point in that though is Luka made it, right? He's in the NBA. He's in America. He's a multimillionaire. Yeah. He could damn well look at them and say, it's not the Olympics. I do not care. It's not the NBA. I do not care about you guys qualifying. But he does it anyway because that's his country and that's what he loves. I'm not trying to be that, patriotic white guy. I'm not trying to be like that because it's not me. But I also look at it and say, if I had the opportunity to play for Team USA baseball, if I had the opportunity to just do that in any fashion, we're fucking out there, bro. We're doing it. And it's like, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's a great experience. I personally feel like that's the best off season you can have is going against top guys in other countries. And even if it's their B team, it's still top level guys in their country. So, I definitely think it gets overly glanced over. And I don't think it's taking it serious.
Team out there right now.
Yeah, you got a B team out there.
No, we got a C team out there.
I mean, I think it's a B team.
Man,
Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is a pretty. I mean, Jalen Brunson. Like, you got the next wave of guys who are.
Jalen Brunson a dog.
You're on the cusp. You don't think Anthony Edwards is a dog?
No, Anthony Edwards a dog.
We're about to start fighting.
You know what? I'm not gonna say C team. I ain't gonna say C team. That's disrespectful.
You got the defensive player of the year in Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, they got Brandon Ingram.
They got Brandon Ingram, BI doing his thing. Man,
Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards needs to be the best person on that team.
I think he is.
I don't know.
I think the face of the team is Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
But I think the best player is Anthony Edwards. 100%. I think Ant's gonna take.
They do got a little, and they got my boy Bridges. They got a little squad. I like
Mikhail's a dog too.
Mikhail Bridges. I feel like him and Brunson was making it tough. Like I saw the game versus Puerto Rico. Them dudes couldn't get the ball. Like once that third quarter, second half came around, US dominated. Like they were like, I think they went into halftime like only up like 6, and they ended the game like by 40 points.
Yeah.
I said, damn.
That's just what it is, bro. I mean, they're fucking around until it's time to get real, and I think that's once that mid third quarter hits, they're like, all right, let's go tee up, let's do it, let's run it, and that's when you start to see the beauty in the game. But again, though, like, I'm not mad at it. I love the roster. I think it's a good group of guys. But when you see these guys like the Klay Thompsons, the Steph Currys, the Kevin Durants of the world, you're like the Damian Lillards. Like, Dame, I know you don't got anything else going on. I know for a fact you don't got anything else going on
right now.
Dame's not going to OTAs. Dame's not going to training camp. Dame's not even going to be able to spell the word Portland. I mean, it's just, come on. Like,
I'd like to see more of these guys, more of them play, because I remember before any of the NBA guys used to ever go, when we just sent basically college players and players you never even heard of go play in the Olympics and get their ass kicked. And then we started sending the NBA guys and we started winning. So I'd like to see more of the bigger name guys start playing again, because I think it was cool back in the day when it first started, and you had like the Jordans and Barclays and all them guys playing in it.
Yeah, the dream team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the president was like, the president got tired of getting beat. He was like, you know what? Release the Kraken. Release the Jordan. Release Magic. Release Bird. Release them all.
Honestly, he was like, man, fuck this. It was like when you're letting your little cousin win a game, Rob. You be playing Madden, you letting him win, and like he starts dusting you, starts talking mad crazy, and you're like you go from leaning back, you lean forward, you like, all right, bet. Like,
hey, you know what's funny about that?
It's all down.
It happened to me on 2K. It happened to me. Like, I was sitting there chilling, blunt in my mouth. Little cousin win it. He like, oh, you trash. Oh, who are you talking to? All right, bet.
All right, it's all down.
Hey, all I know is I remember him throwing my controller. I said, you better not have broke it, you little shit.
I broke my controller a few months back, bro. I was so pissed. I don't even get pissed like that, bro. I'm a really easygoing guy, but I forgot what I was playing. I think I was playing Madden and I threw a pick six, and I was just like, I just chucked it. I was like, fuck.
Dude, I stopped playing the video game. My boys, they trying to convince me now to go get the system and go get 2K because we used to run it up. But I stopped playing because of them game glitches. Like, I had a fast break. We playing the Pro-Ham. I have a fast break. I just stole the ball. And I'm past the free throw line and everything. I go to dunk. My guy goes and shoots a jumper and misses. Like, nobody's there. I'm like, I turned off the game. I didn't say goodbye to nobody. I haven't touched the game since. And then Rob's 2 cents and ASAP and work started keeping me busy. I haven't looked at the game, so it's just collecting dust. I still got like the Xbox One. Like,
that's what I have is Xbox One, 1X or something. And
I got this. I don't know. I got the white one. That's all I know.
Oh, okay, and it just sits here basically. I don't play as much hardly anymore.
Last game I got was 2K, and I got it for the Kobe cover, which I got to get this one for the Kobe cover. Rest in peace, Kobe, man. We miss you, bro.
100%. You know, man, I don't even know how to say it in a respectful way, but it's like the second time Kobe's been on the cover in a couple of years. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's like I see what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're trying to market it. You're trying to continue just, using Kobe's face and likeness to be able to get people to buy it. I love that he's being recognized. I love that Sabrina Ionescu got recognized. Lady Mamba. I mean, they Sky play them tonight. Not looking forward to it, but
boy, she just gave somebody buckets.
She gave somebody
the Aces.
Absolute animals, bro. Absolute animals.
She gave the Aces buckets, and the Aces cold.
Yeah,
that's who I got to win the ship, but
yeah. 3 losses on the year, Rob. 24-3.
You don't say they might have lost like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
Oh, man, all I know is A'ja Wilson though, but that's a different story. I'm sorry, y'all. I was thinking.
It's okay.
Out loud.
Okay.
Thinking out loud.
It's okay. It's okay.
But they got some bad ones in the WNBA. Well, they got that. What's her name? Tia Coop. Oh my goodness. Lord Jesus. And I try to look at the women now as players, and I do. They cold. Like A'ja Wilson gonna give me buckets, but I'm inviting her to give me buckets if she wants to. But I'm just playing. I got. I'm just joking. Maybe.
I'm telling Mrs. Scott. No, I'm playing.
I'm just saying, man. But no, I've been watching the WNBA, but them like to watch Lady Mamba have that game. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been studying her since college. When I found out Kobe was like that was his G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He saw a lot of himself in her, so I've been watching her. And man, bro, she got it, bro. She got it. Just like how she broke that 3-point record, like she went crazy, hit 30 points.
Yep.
That you know what I'm saying?
38, 37 or 38.
It went crazy. That girl got it. She got that inner killer. That's what I call it.
She cashed me out that night. It was a beautiful parlay. She was plus 200 something. I was like, I'll throw 50 on it.
I should have betted on that Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. I should have betted. Like my heart wanted Errol Spence to win because I'm an Errol Spence fan, especially seeing what he's been able to do after the accident and still dominate. But man, my mind told me, Bud. I'm telling you, boy, Bud Crawford different. Like that dude I ain't never seen somebody get destroyed with a jab.
Mm-hmm.
A jab. Like I've seen people get thrown off their game with a jab. But he was like the first knockdown was after a jab. Like the jab stood him up and the other hand knocked him down. I should have betted on that fight. Hey, Damien, don't you even wish that on me. Don't wish that on me. We ain't going to no divorce court. My wife know. I'm just talking.
I can't stand Damien, bro. Damien, snakes in the grass, bro. Damien's the type to text Mrs. Scott. I can't stand that man.
Come on, look at that face. You think she gonna believe him?
Oh,
I'm just playing Damien. It's just a jokey joke from old Robbie Rob.
I'm not. For legal reasons, I have.
Come on, Damien. Hey, you know what, Damien? Come on, come in the gym with me, bro. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, I always forget Damien's from Chicago.
Let's get it, Damien. Come on. I'm gonna get you right, boy. Pause.
Resume.
Hey, Chris, man, I've been on it though, man. I'm starting to feel like you start to feel your muscles, man. I feel like I'll be walking swole now.
I've been seeing you've been putting that work in.
Man, I've been having to too, especially with all these trade shows I've been doing, man. Trying to keep my sanity because I'll be ready to choke the shit out of somebody, I swear. I'll be like, God, let me go ahead and hit these weights because I'm gonna punch folks in his mouth.
Honestly. He ain't lying.
And I missed y'all, man. I see my boy.
Man, I miss you. I text Rob every night. Hey Rob. Want to do a show?
Mikey.
He don't want to fuck with me no more.
I know. Yes, I do, bro. I've been busy, bro. Look, ask my wife the other day.
I want to hear, bro. I want to hear. She's in on it.
Because I've been kind of neglecting her too.
Mrs. Scott B said, "You can't be hanging out with that Mike Hughes guy. He's a bad influence."
He kills guns. John. Hey, why my boy just showed me a hashtag earlier talking about some I want to see a prime D Rose and John Morant get on the court one time together and just go crazy. Hashtag Guns and Roses. Hey, I fell out. It's on my hashtag Guns and Roses.
No, honestly though, like I think that's something that I think about in my head a lot. Watching two forces like that, even like not even debating who wins, just seeing it. I think it'd be a battle for the ages for real.
Yeah.
I think Russ. Can I be real? I think Russ wins out of the three of them, just because I think Russ was overall. When you talk about primes, you look at Russ as a rebounder. You look at Russ defensively, and I think Russ brought a lot more. I think Derek
D Rose,
scorer is Derek.
Prime D Rose was different.
Yeah, 100%.
He scared people. Like I don't think Russ scared people. Like people knew what you was gonna get out of Russ.
No, 100%.
D Rose actually
one-on-one.
You
Russ
was like,
bigger.
I gotta play Rose tonight, man. Like I'm listening to what's his name that be telling all the great stories, Iman Shumpert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching him tell a story about Rose, and he was like, man, people don't understand. He said, I've never seen somebody be able to control the space around them like that. Like he talking about, like, he can go in the air and he'll pause and he'll show you the ball over here and then he'll bring it back over here and then fake it back and then finish back with the same hand. He's like, I've never seen that before. He was like, he jumped in the air and everything stopped.
Right.
And you didn't know where to go after the ball. And his first step, I think he was more controlled than Westbrook. When Westbrook was during that time, he was out of control, bro. Like he was just one of them dudes that was just too athletic. Like he didn't know how to control it. Like Rose was scared everybody about him. Is his first step was a killer. Once he got a step on you, it was nothing you can do.
Right, 100%. I just think in a one-on-one, man, you're looking at what they bring. I think I would take Prime Russ just because of the rebounding ability, just because of what he brings from that different side of it. But as a scorer, I think Rose was the easier of the better of the scorers. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong, Russ was a dog. Don't get me wrong.
I think we just forget Prime Russ sometimes. I'm like, that man.
People be trying to compare Ja Morant, talking about he better than Prime D Rose. I'll be like, stop it. Stop it. If you put D Rose, if D Rose able to give me one healthy year, you put him on that Memphis team, they win in the ring. They win in the ring. I'm telling you right now.
They together right now, so it's gonna be fun to watch them play. I think it really is. It's gonna be interesting.
Rose ain't had no help on that Bulls team. People be forgetting it was D Rose versus the big three.
Hey man, first of all, we ain't gonna sit here and act like Joakim Noah is not a defensive player.
Noah ain't no scorer though. Rose needed scores.
I heard you. I
ain't saying that. But can I give Joakim the ball down on the block and say, go get me 10 points,
bro? Joe will give you whatever he need to give you. He's an amazing human being, bro. And you know what? You know what, Rob? You know
Carlos Boozer was trash by the time we got him. And our two guard, we was going in between Ronnie Brewer, Keith Bogus, and I believe our best chance was with Rip, and Rip wasn't even the same no more.
Nate Robinson was probably our
best.
Come on,
man. Rose had no help. That's why when people be I'm like, boy, he put the fear of God in Miami because they knew if he had one more person, we in trouble.
Right, 100%. And that's why you wanted guys like Bosh, Wade, Bron, or Melo. You know, you wanted to bring in those guys to help them out. Even Kobe was a conversation for a little bit, and I think
that's why I wanted Melo that year. We were supposed to get Melo, and Melo chose the money.
Yep. And he sat on it. That's exactly how the rest of his career played out.
Talking about some had Dang, Noah, and Ben Gore. Which one of them dudes? Get out of my face with that. Luol Deng was okay.
He was all right.
But Bron killed him every time.
You know what I did see the other day though? They have
Gordon. He's stabbing people in airports and stuff right now.
Oh. Rob just had to get that one out. Any opportunity he gets to mention that shit. He
has a rock and roll McDonald's giving people that.
Man. But no, man, I think, at the end of the day, you look at that and it's definitely something.
I don't mean to get too emotional about this. I just hate when people really be trying to slight D Rose like he won him. Could LeBron have won the MVP that year? Yes. LeBron could have been in a position to win the MVP every year. He was like Jordan. Every year, LeBron gonna be in the conversation, just like every year Mike was in the conversation.
Yeah.
But it was just what Rose had done. If you compare the help LeBron had to the help that D Rose had, and the fact that D Rose was still the man in the Eastern Conference, that still had the Bulls as either the first seed or the second seed in the Eastern Conference, that had the big three heat. Come on.
Yeah,
went through everybody. Everybody kept talking about, it's gonna either be Paul George or Indiana. No, I think to me, Rose put the fear of God in Miami.
I mean, we came close. We came close a couple of times, and Joakim and Rose talk about it a lot. More so Joakim because Rose just doesn't talk about it as often. But they knew that the year he tore his ACL against Philly, that was the year. They had Miami's number all season. They had Boston's number all season. Yeah. That was the year that they were going to do it, and that's what hurt so bad.
That, bro, because I almost shed it a tear.
Man, I did.
As a ball away like that, he grabbed his knee.
As a 12-year-old boy, I tell you right now, I cried for 2 days.
Oh no, why my boy
Superman, bro? I mean, that was
like that.
that
Because
was
remember when he came back for the I think he had set out like most of that year.
most of the next year, yeah, and then most of that year as well. But I mean, you finally thought you were getting everything back together. I want to point out before Rob brings up people stabbing people again. Joakim Noah is eligible for the first time to be in the NBA Hall of Fame this year. I'm really excited about it. Just to be mentioned, just to be a part of that is really exciting. The Chicago Bears have Stephen McMichael, who's currently fighting for his life right now. Mongo's doing his thing.
Come on, Chris, throw up your fours for Mongo.
Chris don't know what that means.
Yeah, he
I
do.
hear what you said.
He was in the Four Horsemen.
It cut out.
I said, Chris, throw up your fours for
Oh, the Four
Mongo.
Horsemen. I know what they were talking about. Four Horsemen.
Yeah, you got that's that Four Horsemen. Now
dog.
I ain't saying that's the greatest
Right.
reiteration of the Four Horsemen. But he was a Four Horseman though.
100%.
Oh, Mongo.
Hey, I think Noah, he gonna pray. I don't think he'll make it now, but eventually. I mean,
I think eventually
he was a defensive player of the year. A
great number 2.
A great, yeah, he was the number. That's what I'm saying. Noah was our number 2. You thought we was gonna beat the Heat, but
it's kind of like Rob. To that point, I want to ask you, because we're talking about Ja, because Derrick Rose is on the Memphis Grizzlies. When your number 2 currently is Jaren Jackson Jr., does that kind of show the writing on the walls? That, I mean, let's be real.
I don't think he's
the most popular player.
Desmond Bane is the number 2.
See, I mean, but there's so many inconsistencies, and I've talked to Randy about it. Randy's a big Grizz fan, and I've talked to Randy Jowers, the man, the myth, the legend.
Randy.
But I've talked to him so many times. Like, Desmond's the kind of guy who will give you 5 for 6 from 3 one night on 6-7 dribbles,
and then go 1 of 9.
Right, but here's the crazier part.
He would, though.
And then take 1-3 the next game.
Yeah,
like I haven't seen that part of him yet, where he takes that next step to like all NBA third team, second team, something like that. I'm not asking for first team. I'm not even asking for second, but just being a part of it, being in that name, being in that kind of, let's say a current Klay Thompson, even, I think that's where he's at, a current Klay Thompson. But what you want from him is that
old Klay Thompson.
That old Klay Thompson. And you don't need the defensive purposes, but you have Jaren. But I would say Jaren's the number 2. He's the defensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Versus a guy who, he averages 18 points, and that's cool, but the inconsistencies of one night it's 30, next night it's 7, one night. I mean, I bet on Desmond Bane a lot this year in my parlays for over-under on bro. He showed me a lot.
Yeah, I just put him down. Put him down for 10 points.
Yeah, on 15 points he would sell me. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Is when all season long, Gonzo, we talked about it. Dylan Brooks is the guy who's getting the most attention, and it's not because he's a good basketball player. Like, there's problems there, and for Ja, having the issues he has, take away Ja Morant from that team, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane and Steven Adams. That doesn't do anything for me. And Ja Morant added to that still doesn't thread the needle enough for me. I think they have a good core. I think Draymond hit it on the head. Draymond was the one that was like, yo, listen, he told Dylan Brooks straight up, the dynasty is going to happen after you leave. And them bringing up, a guy like Marcus Smart, them bringing in Derrick Rose, I think it's going to be really important for them.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you're right about that team with Dylan Brooks. He was in the media for all the wrong reasons.
Reasons. He was like, I don't respect LeBron. You gotta come see me. Then Bron gave him 40, and I was like, man, bro, like why are you the way you are? You know what I mean? And it was just crazy.
You don't poke the bear.
No, you don't. Like, what do you? I was always I talked shit in the moment. I was always like that when I was playing. Even now, when I play in men's league, next Monday I gotta go for our first game of the year for fall ball. I have a pinched nerve in my neck right now, so we'll see how that goes. It's probably be a short season, Gonzo. I'll be back here talking to you. But it's definitely something to where when we're on the field, I am going to be an asshole, and I am going to be a jerk, and I'm going to make sure that you feel me by the end of the game. But going on social media, talking crazy, It's
one thing to talk. It's one thing to talk shit during the game and everything, but then to go do it like you said on social media and stuff afterward, that's a whole different thing. So, I mean, I like to talk shit some when I played, but it was like what you're talking about during the game. And there's a lot of guys that talk shit during the game, but then after the game, you can the guy you were talking shit to, you guys can go sit, have a beer, talk, do whatever.
Right.
It's not personal. You get on there on social media and stuff afterwards, you can make that personal, and you don't want to do that with a guy like LeBron or some of the GOATs.
Right.
Like you didn't want to do that with Jordan. You didn't want to give Jordan any extra ammunition to use against
you. The smallest thing would give that man fuel. You look at him funny. You know what I mean? Like it's things like that. Like you're going out of your way to poke Steph Curry, Klay Thompson.
This dude walked by me, didn't say hi. I mean, Jordan was like that. It just took little things.
I mean, you remember when Kobe Bryant, DeMar DeRozan told a story about it, talking about how Vince Carter told him, "Do you always wear Kobe's?" And DeMar said, "Yeah, of course I do." And DeMar still wears Kobe's every game. And the one time they played against Kobe, DeMar didn't wear them. He wore a pair of Jordans. And he said, Kobe walked up to him and said, "That's what we're on tonight, bet." And then Kobe scored like 40. And it's like, it's little things like that it's like, okay, like DeMar said, I wore Kobe's every time we played against him after that. Because it's like they take shit like that personally.
Yeah, because that Jordan story where George Karl told him good luck or whatever, and he's like, luck? And like, dude, just to be able, to be able to take little things like that and fuel you, that's one of the things that make some of them guys what they are. They're always able to keep that chip on their shoulder to prove that they're the best.
100%.
Where you get other guys that you start getting that money and getting that fame, you kind of being the best at what you do kind of sometimes can come second, and the fame and the money and stuff starts coming first. And I think that's the difference in some guys being considered like in that GOAT conversation or just being a good player.
100%.
Fucking TV's pissing me off, man. Trying to watch the damn Little League game and I can't get my damn channel to work.
Oh yeah, I was checking out a little bit of that earlier. So ugly, man. It's so ugly compared to what we're used to, but it's so much fun. It's so much.
I love watching it though.
But I
umpired Little League baseball for like probably 20 years, up until just a few years ago, and then I've watched a lot of it. But I love watching them kids play. But yeah, it's a lot different than watching like after you've been watching all this the College World Series and all the MLB this year, and then you go to turn on a Little League game. It's totally different style.
100%. Unless
you watch like the Oakland A's, that can be pretty
probably the same thing. It's relatively the same thing.
Little League team sometimes.
Most definitely. Gonzo, we got anything before we get out of here? Anything left?
No, unless you have something.
Not a damn thought in my mind. I do want to say I do.
You got one thing. Football's back.
Football's back. Man,
a lot of preseason games on the day. I think 4 or 5 today, 4 or 5 tomorrow.
It's gonna be exciting, man. And if you're not a preseason person, I will say I just posted this the other day. Netflix and HBO Max. I'm sorry, Netflix and Max. It's just Max now. I'm sorry. It's too much. But no, I mean, an absolute blast right now. I just finished the quarterback series between Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota, and Patrick Mahomes. I thought
incredible. That was great. I really enjoyed it.
It was great. Justin Fields got asked to be a part of it for season 2. He said no. I understand it, but I would have loved to see it. He said it was a distraction. So I was like, aye, Captain, whatever you say.
I think he might do it a little bit later in his career. I think for
sure.
Like a young guy like that, I can see why he didn't want to do it now, but maybe a little bit later on.
Right, but you also have the Johnny Manziel story about Johnny football.
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm in the middle of it. It's getting pretty crazy about the illegal signings and like the NCAA rules. It's crazy, but I got like 20 minutes left. But then on HBO Max, obviously, Aaron Rodgers and company. So definitely check those out. If you're not interested in preseason football, I understand if you're not. But this will give you a little bit of taste of what's to come.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that Manziel thing. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks Monday night. And I thought it was good.
Yeah, I started watching it. I can't, Gonzo. I can't. He's such an asshole. He's just so arrogant. He's just so cocky. I can't stand him. They're making him like a Hollywood pretty boy. I can't stand Aaron, man. But I whatever. I was like, I just hate him. I tried though. I watched like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck him. I turned.
I can understand that though, because you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, I was like, I fucking can't stand this guy.
You've had to deal with Aaron for the last
what a douchebag.
17 years.
My whole life, damn near. Him and Favre, 2 douchebags. Jesus Christ. And a criminal. Favre is a criminal. Don't let it ever get twisted. And the other one's a drug addict that'll steal your catalytic converter.
Oh shit.
Gonzo,
I thought it was pretty good, but I've always been kind of a Rodgers, not like a Rodgers fan, because I'm not a fan of the Packers, but
right.
I liked watching Rodgers play because he's one of the best throwers of the football that we've seen.
Sure.
So I mean, I've always liked watching him play. So I watched that. Plus, there ain't shit on right now other than baseball, and my Reds was off yesterday, and then they haven't been playing the greatest over the last couple of weeks. But hopefully, they can get back going today.
Yeah, most definitely, bro.
But other than that, we appreciate everybody watching. This has been the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Make sure you check out the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all social media,
Apple
and the
TV,
ASAP Sports
Roku.
Network app. What'd you say?
Oh, I was just like Apple TV, Roku.
Yeah, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon. You can find the app about everywhere now. And there's Rob. I guess we'll see if Rob has a final thought.
Yo, I made it back just in time. I thought I had a meeting, and then he was like, "No, I'm doing this." And I'm like, "Cool, bye, leave it alone." Almost messing up my showtime. Look at that. Ain't that a sexy Bulls hat? Let's put on Bears hat. Make Bears great again. Let's go, Justin Fields. There we go, baby.
I gotta go.
Yeah, we were actually doing final thoughts.
Okay, my final thoughts, man. I'm just happy I got a chance to be on the show with you guys today, man. I know Mike just left, man. Gonzo, it's always great to see your lovely face. You know what I'm saying? Tell Pops I said what's up. You know what I'm saying? The whole Gonzo family, man. Hey, it just felt good to be back on ASAP and just to talk sports again. Take a deep breath, man. So I know y'all got y'all baseball going on. Bears pregame tomorrow. Football preseason game tomorrow. I'm in Clarence's fantasy football league, so wish me luck. I hope I kill them boys and take their money. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, it's nice having you back on, man. Hopefully you'll be able to get back on a little more often. I know once your work schedule slows down a little bit, it'll be a little easier for you.
Yes, sir. But you know I'm always here, even when I'm not here.
Yeah. We appreciate everybody watching. This has been ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Don't forget, I'll be live here in about 20-25 minutes with the Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us for that. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Let's get it.